The Exorcism of Annalise Michel. In the 1970s, in a small town in Bavaria, Germany, a young woman named Annalise Michel became the center of one of the most harrowing exorcism cases in modern history. Annalise was born in 1952 into a devout Catholic family. By all accounts, she was a bright and kind young woman. But at the age of 16, she began to experience strange and terrifying symptoms. She would suddenly black out and lose control of her body, often convulsing on the floor. Doctors diagnosed her with epilepsy and prescribed medication, but her condition only worsened. Soon after, she began hearing voices that told her she was damned and that she would rot in hell. She became deeply disturbed, withdrawing from school and her normal life. Despite the medical diagnosis, Annalise and her family became convinced that her condition was not just a physical illness, but something far more sinister. She began to display behaviors that could not easily be explained. She would drink her own urine, eat insects, and exhibit extreme strength, often growling or barking like an animal. She spoke in voices that weren't her own, and in languages she had never learned. Crosses and religious objects in her presence would send her into violent fits of rage. After consulting with local priests, her family begged the church for help, convinced that Annalise was possessed by demons. Two priests, Father Ernst Alt and Father Arnold Renz, were granted permission by the bishop to perform an exorcism under strict conditions. Over the course of 10 months in 1975 and 1976, Annalise endured 67 exorcisms. The sessions were brutal. Annalise would scream, curse, and physically resist, often needing to be restrained. She claimed to be possessed by several demons, including Lucifer, Cain, Judas, Nero, and even Hitler. The exorcisms took a severe toll on Annalise. She stopped eating, believing that the demons would not allow her to. Her physical condition deteriorated rapidly, and by July 1st, 1976, she was dead. The official cause of death was malnutrition and dehydration. She was just 23 years old. Annalise's death led to a sensational trial. Her parents and the two priests were charged with negligent homicide. The court heard tape recordings from the exorcisms in which Annalise's guttural, inhuman voice could be heard screaming and speaking in strange languages. The defense argued that Annalise had truly been possessed, but the prosecution maintained that she had been mentally ill and that her death was the result of severe neglect. In the end, the priest and Annalise's parents were found guilty of manslaughter. They were given relatively lenient sentences, 6 months in jail, suspended, and 3 years of probation. The case sparked widespread debate about the role of religion, mental illness, and the responsibility of medical professionals. To this day, many people believe that Annalise Michel was genuinely possessed, while others see her as a tragic victim of religious fanaticism and untreated mental illness. Her grave has become a site of pilgrimage for those who believe in her story, while her case remains one of the most disturbing and controversial exorcism cases of the 20th century.